So it looks like Shanquella's father just recently did an interview either earlier today or sometime today with News Nation, or probably even yesterday. And he is really, really struggling, understandably, about this horrible tragedy. He even mentioned in this interview that he wants all people arrested. He's happy with the arrest, but he wants full justice for Shanquella, and I completely understand. So I wanted you guys to hear what he had to say. Also, after we look at that, I wanted to also take a look at two pieces of observations that I found. One regarding the alleged guy who's going around saying he's Shanquella's boyfriend. We need to talk about that. And I want to also talk a little bit more about the relationship between Malik and Dejanay, meaning their friendship and the extent of that friendship, because I had a receipt I wanted to show you guys regarding that. But let's get into the father's interview.
Talk more about this is Bernard Robinson. That is Shanquella Robinson's father. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm sorry that it's under these circumstances. So we just had Thanksgiving, Mr. Robinson. I wonder how you and your family are doing without Shanquella there with you.
I'm not doing well. I'm not doing well at all. I'm struggling every day. Your mom and daughter. Not doing well.
It's like I said, I'm so sorry for what happened. I'm sorry that these are the circumstances under which we are talking. But your goal is to get justice here. What do you think? The initial explanation was that she had died of alcohol poisoning, and now we have video of her getting beaten by somebody that she traveled with. Where is your head as far as where this investigation is going and what happened?
Good morning to America. When they came back with that story, or when her mom called me and said alcohol poisoning, I know it wasn't alcohol poisoning. So they just turned my life upside down. My life had changed. But I asked God to show me what really happened over there in Mexico, Cabo. And then how everything began to start unfolding, because I wasn't giving up. You know, I paid for her to get back over here, the lady down in the funeral home. I had to look for her. That Monday morning, started looking where she was. You know, I ain't know nothing about no Mexico, Cabo. You know, and these friends.
And that is so sad, because thinking of just the fear and the worry and the all of that, and trying to figure out how to navigate a country that they're not even familiar with. Imagine putting yourself in this father's shoes. He didn't know anything about Mexico. He didn't know how to figure out how to get his daughter back. He had to literally use Google to try to search how to figure out how to get his daughter back. That had to have been so traumatic for this man and his family. And you could just hear the tone of his voice, and even um, the shaking in his voice. You can tell that he is in a lot of pain and suffering. And just realizing that Thanksgiving was yesterday and he didn't have his daughter with him, you could tell that it really affected him. But when I heard him say how he didn't know anything about Mexico, that really, really captivated me, because it was like, just imagine you've never been. I don't even think he's even been to Mexico. I don't know. And he has to figure out who to talk to navigate where is his daughter, how to get her back. It's a parent's worst nightmare. Imagine, I mean, a parent lose a daughter or son in the US. That alone is hard. But imagine losing your daughter or son in another country, a foreign country or whatever, that you've never been to. You don't know how they operate out there, where to look, what's their procedures. I feel so sad for him.
So-called friends. I want every last one of them over there, not just one.
You want them all sent back to face charges or to speak to the local prosecutor, right?
Every last one of them, because you know, my daughter, she's not a fighter. You know, I ain't raised her to be that kind of way. I raised her to love and respect people. You know.
So you heard that key statement he said? He's still not at peace. A lot of people are celebrating, hey, there's arrest issued. I personally feel that Mexico is cutting corners. Some people is getting attitudes of me saying, stop jumping to conclusions. Da, 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 da. You can tell right now they are cutting corners. They're trying to like find the most efficient way to do it. They're not really looking fully into those other people. They're just trying to say, oh, look, we did an arrest. Look, and you can see this poor father here is not at peace. Now, it's not to say that the case is closed. There's a lot more for them to investigate. I believe once Dejanay gets down, goes to Mexico, y'all, she's gonna tell. She's gonna tell on the others. So, hopefully Mexico will not just fully clarify their case, like he said, talk about it's fully clarified. No, you need to keep it open for further investigation once Dejanay gets arrested and over there in Mexico. Now, I must note, the prosecutor hasn't mentioned who the person is, but there are some sources out there that actually obtain translations of documents showing it is Dejanay, but we don't have proof that she's the one that's on the arrest warrant or whatever, but it's a good guess. It's a logical inference from the video we've seen. So I don't, think it's not far-fetched to think it is her. That's the warrant is issued for. But you can see right now, look at this father. He is very frustrated because he wants all of them arrested. He wants the Cabo 6 arrested because they each played a role. Now, I personally don't think that they have enough to arrest Nazir. I don't think they do. They got a lot more. I mean, they got a lot more for the Cabo 5, but not for Nazir. He's not the Cabo 6 because they don't have evidence that he really knew about it. We could speculate all day long that we don't like his live and we don't, some of the things he said was inconsistent and whatever. But at the end of the day, you got to have evidence to prove your case. And as it stands right now, there's not really any evidence that he was there. There's no evidence of what he knows. We can assume a reasonable person can assume that he probably was told about the video, but the timing we need to know. When did he learn about the video? Did he learn about the video when he arrived? Or did he learn about the video after he returned back to North Carolina and it was passed around? We don't know. So I think at least the Mexican authorities should look into the other 5 and get them arrested. But this father is not at peace right now because he feels like, there's not full justice right now, but we're all being patient. This is just the beginning. So we will see what manifests down the line.
I'm a people person, I try to make sure you put yourself around people that not gonna do no body harm to you, just like me, treat people kind, respectful, I always teach her never look down on nobody. With a blink of an eye, you could be in that same position they are,
Well, Mr. Robinson, I understand that you didn't really know the folks that she was traveling with, but had she ever mentioned any issues with them, or did you have any idea that she might be in danger traveling with these people?
None of them. No, I didn't. I did not even know. I did not even know. I ain't never met them. I ain't never.
See, that's a key indicator that people are missing regarding this case. People are missing a key thing that both the mother and the father has stated. The mother has stated she knows of or suspects that these friends are from college. She doesn't have a definite knowledge of these people except for Khalil. That's a key thing you need to know as relates to the extent of Shanquella's relationship with these people. And the father is saying he doesn't even know of them. These are key indicators that these people were not as close to Shanquella as it appeared, or as the news may be saying, calling them friends. They're not really friends. The only one that was kind of a friend, which we found to be fake, is Khalil. The other people were more so associates. She knew the other Cabo 5 through Khalil. Now, Nazir claims that he knew Shanquella for 9 years. I don't know what the extent of that relationship was. I looked at his Instagram today, and he's not even following Shanquella. He's following Winter Donovan, and he is following Dejanay, but he is not following Shanquella. So I don't know what the actual extent. You can know of someone for 9 years. That doesn't mean you're best buddy. But The mother has stated that she knows Khalil. Khalil has gone on trips with them. So she has a familiarity with him versus the other. That can clue you in related to the extent of these relationships. Shanquella didn't really have a relationship with those other 5 people. She only had a relationship with Khalil. Khalil was the person who invited her to the party, to Cabo. And another thing people are missing, there was 2 birthdays that weekend that was being celebrated, Deja's birthday and Nazir's. So Deja's birthday was also, her 26th birthday was being celebrated also. So that's one thing that's being missed. Imagine Deja does not like this girl Shanquella, who was invited by Khalil, and she's like, why is this girl at my party? And it looks really weird in the videos because Dejanay doesn't even seem like she's having fun. She's supposed to be celebrating, living it up, getting drunk, whatever, for her birthday. And she's just looking like she has a stank attitude for that whole day on the 28th. Like, at least the videos we got to see, we didn't see her really having fun. It just seemed like she had an attitude. I mean, in the only video she looked like she was somewhat doing something fun was when they were doing the game at the end of the night. So
None of them, you know.
so that's one thing people skip is you got to look at what is the extent of these parents knowing these friends. If they don't really know a familiarity, you can really learn the scope of that friendship.
Thing I knew, my mom told me that they went to college with her. That's it. That's all I knew. You know, for them to do what they did, and I looked at that video, you know, I got to give, you know, high praise to NCBB because he the one who took on the story and got the story moving like it was. Because I'm old school. I don't be on Facebook, Twitter, media, none of that. You know, I'm just behind the scene of her life. I'm just a family man, go to work, do what I'm supposed to do, respectful man, you know, take care of my responsibility, you know, and thinking that I was going to see her again this weekend, the weekend that she went down there, and then they come back with that story, bringing her luggage back, and not her, you know, and that sad story going to come to her mom, her sister's house, and sit right there in front of them and eat their food and tell that story that it was alcohol poisoning, sir, and then I sit there in that funeral home, and them doors open, and she was in that box, you know, and I looked at her, and so I saw a knot on her head, it seemed like her eye was swollen. It had a cut on the lip, you know. I didn't know it wasn't alcohol poisoning. So the lady finally called me and gave me the information, but now your daughter, I said, what she died of? She said, your daughter died of a broken neck and a broken spinal cord. And I said, well, they say alcohol poisoning. She said, no, Mr. Robson. It wasn't alcohol poisoning her sister. Then all of a sudden that video came out.
Well,
That's sad. Every time I hear him talking about opening the box to look at his daughter, this is how he has to remember his daughter, with a swollen eye, a swollen lip, and a knot on her head, evidencing the brutal last moments of her life being beat to death. He has to see that, and being a father who is used to being her protector to keep her safe, and he was thousands of miles away, not able to protect his daughter. This poor dad here is suffering, and he has to revisit those images for the rest of his life. That is very sad. And so a lot of people, they were saying, well, he said in one interview that Shanquella was his only daughter. I think, I don't know, what we can suspect, guys, we don't know, we can just speculate, is that possibly the mother and father split, and maybe they may be half siblings. Maybe the 2 sisters are half siblings, maybe. That maybe is what it meant, because some people were asking, well, how come he said Shanquella was his only daughter? Maybe because the older daughter may not be his daughter. Who knows, guys? I don't know. I don't know why he said that, but I think that's possibly could be the reason. But it's just sad. Every time I hear him talk about opening the box to look at his daughter, I always think of that story about Emmett Till, when the mother had to open that box and see the remains of her son brutally just completely devoured. That poor kid was just unrecognizable. And I just think of that when I hear him say that. It's so sad.
I am so sorry.
It really tore me up. I don't know if y'all got daughters, you know, sons. But for human beings, supposed to be your friend, you know, to do another person like that, who give them authority to take another life and come back here like it's okay, knowing she got a father that love her greatly, been in her life ever since she came into this world, and God blessed me with that seed. Every day is a struggle for me because, you know, she's not here. I can't be a granddaddy, you know. Can't even walk down the aisle. Can't hear a voice. But they can hear, they can talk to their parents, you know, for them to come back here. Sarah didn't even call me, didn't reach out to me, ain't say, Mr. Robbins, sorry about your loss, ain't tell me what happened. But you're going to tell that sorry story to her mom and her sister. You know, she got a father. She got a loving father, you know. And I know for a fact it wasn't no alcohol poisoning because she don't roll like that. She might, you know, she drank a little, but not no alcohol poisoning.
But Mr. Robinson, your pain is very clear, and I do have a son, and I cannot imagine if something like this happened to him. But there are folks out here that don't know Shanquella. They never met her, and I would like for you to tell the folks what they were missing, never having met her and now never having the chance. What will you miss most about Shanquella Robinson?
She's a very loving child, you know. She's not perfect, but she will respect you, you know, and try to make you laugh, you know. She's just a responsible child, you know, going person, a very going, lovely kid, you know. People, it's just her personality, her heart, it just attract friends. She just attract friends, and some of her friends, you know, is no good to her. It's just the way she carry herself, sir. She ain't very loving and caring, you know.
Well, Mr. Robinson, I know the extent to which you will miss her very much comes across. So thank you so much for your time. I know this was difficult for you, but I know I speak for everybody here at Morning in America and all of News Nation when we say we hope you get justice for Shanquella, your daughter. Thank you for joining us.
And I just want to thank everybody across this world that got a hold to this story and loved and cared and prayed for the Robinson family, because that's the only reason I'm standing and talking to you all as I am right now. You know, I'm hurting as I'm sitting here in this truck in which I'm a driver. And, you know, I pulled over to do this interview because right now I'm on my way to go and put a plot on her grave.
Oh my God, that is so sad, y'all. He's a driver, a truck driver. And those could be long, extensive days on the road by yourself. Imagine him making all those drives and trips, having to think about his daughter. This man is being tormented. This is sad. Because it's a lonely, lonely ride when you're a truck driver. And for him to be on those long trips, and he just told you right now that he's driving to Shanquella's grave to put a placard on there. But this is really sad. I need y'all to pray for Mr. Bernard because he is very in a dark place right now. It's so sad.
You know,
I hope the next time we speak with you, you've gotten the justice that you deserve, sir. Thank you again for joining us. Morning America will be right back.
All right, so that was...
Zac Efron was once considered one of the most attractive actors in Hollywood.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was. But anyways, that's not what we're here for. We're not here for you today. So another thing I wanted to talk about regarding the Shanquella case is I knew something was up with that boyfriend. He's not really the current boyfriend, y'all. He over here getting clout. You know how some of these men do. They, for some reason, use people's deaths to get clout. He is an ex-boyfriend. I'll show you guys the video real quick. Hold on. Be patient. Don't mind me scrolling. I hear somebody always saying, don't be scrolling. Oh my gosh. Sometimes people need to. People out here who be rude and trying to critique and all that stuff, y'all can make your own YouTube channel and you can go ahead and do all your advisements over there, okay? I like to do these stories because they mean a lot to me. I'm not an expert blogger or whatever. I just come on here and talk about stuff. So hold on, let me try to get to... Trying to find the boyfriend in here, y'all. I don't even know if they have that video up anymore. Oh, here it is. Okay, sorry guys, I had to scroll a little bit. Thanks for your patience. So here it is. So this guy right here, he posted this in remembrance of her and how he missed her. He posted on his Twitter or whatever that he thought that the friends were lying. And apparently some blogger out there interviewed him. And I did not talk about that interview because he didn't give us anything of substantive to show that he was really there and talked to these suspects. He gave us the same information that was out in the public talking about, oh, I suspected they were lying and I didn't think they were telling the truth or whatever. Well, the parents have spoken and they have stated that this is an ex-boyfriend. Okay, and the stuff that he's saying out there is not true, y'all. They not even in a relationship. Allegedly, she has another current boyfriend. That's what the allegation is. So this is an ex-boyfriend, not a current boyfriend. So if you see some interviews floating around there, at least you know the context of that relationship. Not that he is definitely, it's understandable that he's still mourning, though he had a relationship with this woman. So it's understandable that he's in a lot of pain and mourning just like anyone else. Just wanted you to know the extent of the relationship because some people got confused, like myself, thinking that that was a current boyfriend when in reality it's an ex-boyfriend. But he is still suffering all the same, just like the rest of the people who care about Shanquella. Okay, now remember I was telling you guys the extent of this friendship and how the Cabo Six had an extensive relationship dating years back prior to Shanquella. And Shanquella was merely an acquaintance, and she merely knew of the other Cabo people through Khalil. Well, here is another piece of receipt or evidence here to show you the closeness of Malik and Dejanay, which will explain to you why Malik in that video stood still and watched as Shanquella was beaten to death and did not intervene. And it'll also explain to you the reasoning why he was, just kind of mocking Shanquella and telling her, can't you fight back, Shanquella? Dang. He was mocking her when he made that statement, making fun of her, because he is absolutely 100% loyal to Shanquella. Okay? Here is one of his posts that he posted on October 30th. That's a scary day because we know this particular date was the date after Shanquella was declared deceased. So this is telling me, look, you best friend for life. I got you 100%. That's like telling me, I will cover for you for life. You over anybody else. He knew already before, when he posted this, y'all, this is sick. When he posted this was after Shanquella died and was brutally murdered by Dejanay. And this is while they're probably on their way back to North Carolina. He posts this, reassuring her that he got you 100%. Put that into context with what happened in this case. Basically saying, I got you till the end. That is sick. This was his last public post before he deactivated his account. Sick. Even after Shanquella died, he felt no empathy, no guilt, no shame for sitting idle and watching this young lady be beat to death, decapitated internally. And he still didn't feel remorse the day after she was declared dead. That's so disgusting. Then he says, happy birthday to my best friend, daughter's godmother. He has a little girl. She is his daughter's godmother. 10 years of friendship that I wouldn't trade for the world. Love you for life. You guys have to know the extent of the relationships to understand this case. You cannot just look at a news report and it says friends and think, oh, they were close friends. They were never close friends. Shanquella was an outsider. There was no way she would have ever penetrated that friendship. That's why everybody stood idle and watched that fight. And he was 100% for life, loyal to her. I got you. That's the mentality he had on the day that he watched Dejanay brutally beat Shanquella to death. And that's why he sat there recording it, because he was supporting his bestie. So I wanted to show you guys this. I had been talking about this for a while, and I'm glad I finally found the receipt to show y'all that receipt. Another update is Nazir has gone on his live today, and he has, again, talked about his innocence. At this point, I could tell you one thing: he is the only person out here speaking about his innocence. And I got to give him at least some kudos for that, okay? Because other people aren't talking. The winter live that you guys have been watching on these bloggers is not real. It's sad that people didn't really check into that. The allegation regarding someone had a Dejanay one, that one's not real. And you just got to look. If these are the real people, they'll go on live and you'll see their face. Like, if you go on Nazir's page, he actually is on camera. You can see him. If a person is hiding behind a screen with no camera, it's a fake person trying to pretend to be these people. These people are not dumb. They're not out here speaking. And you can just compare the voices with the other videos we've seen, and you can tell the voices are slightly different. Even the girl who's pretending to be Winter has a different accent than the original Winter that we've heard on those lives, on the stories, lives, social media lives. Different voice. But what I can give Nazir is he's still coming out. He's speaking. He is advocating for his innocence. His story, to me, may not have been all clear, and I am sidelighting his story, but I really don't think they have enough evidence to go against him at this time until at least they could find something in his phone. But I will say them other 5, yes, they need to look more into them, and I believe Dejanay will probably crack under the pressure. But this is sick right here, y'all. This is very disgusting. October 30th, after Shanquella was beat to death, he still didn't care. He was willing. They all made a pact after that girl died to hold out and protect each other, which is why I don't think it was anybody within that circle that released that video. I think it's an outsider. I think this dude was bragging about his bestie, sent it off to somebody in North Carolina, and somebody in North Carolina who is not within that Cabo 6 released that video to the public. I don't think it was anybody in that Cabo 6. That's just my humble opinion. But this is the night he posted this message, the day after Shanquella passed away, y'all. This is disgusting. It's sick. It's heinous. It shows how callous these people are, how a lack of empathy. If they really didn't intend to kill this girl, they would have at least reflected upon it and felt some form of empathy or guilt, and yet they did not. This is evident that they don't care. Another thing that we need to point out. Now, I came on a video and I was talking about, we didn't really know if the $10,000 allegation was true, meaning there was no actual confirmation yet as to whether money was stolen from Shanquella. Well, the parents are just saying they don't know if it's true or not, so they don't really know. Okay, that might still very well be an allegation that could possibly be proven by the FBI or the Mexican authorities. In fact, there are rumors floating around, guys, and this is just a rumor, and this is coming from NCB, and NCB was in communications with the parents, so I am assuming they might have gotten this information from the parents, that Miss Dejanay, after she got home, after Shanquella was beat to death, she went allegedly on a shopping spree, y'all. Does that sound like somebody who has empathy or remorse or guilt for something they didn't otherwise intend to happen? This is sounding like intent to me. It sounds like they didn't care about this girl's life. This guy's talking about he's gonna willing go to the end for this girl. I got you. And she's over here allegedly going on a shopping spree with whose money? Okay. Because we saw that little LinkedIn talking about she works for healthcare services, but when I really looked at her occupation, she's just a customer service rep. So that really puts into context the level of jealousy she had for Shanquella. You see, they all went to college together, and she's looking at the fact that after her college life or college graduation, she's just a little customer service rep, whereas Shanquella is living it up. She's a successful entrepreneur. She's got 2 successful, thriving businesses. She's a beauty queen. I don't know if she was a beauty queen during the college time. People see that and get jealous. There is a picture of her with a crown floating around. You guys could probably have already seen that picture. So people get jealous of little stuff like that. So looking at her life in comparison with Shanquella, I think this girl right here had the main hatred for Shanquella. And see, because the others followed her lead and she's talking back because she doesn't like Shanquella and I got you 100%, I'm down for you. She's talking mess to the Cabo 6. Not Cabo 6, but the Cabo 5 because Nazir allegedly wasn't there. So we don't know what extent he knows of that part. So we're going to leave him out of it for now. Okay, we're just going to talk about the 5 people in that room in the video we watched before. I think the hatred started with this one. This is the one. Because if you guys know how cliques work, if one person doesn't like someone, everybody in the clique doesn't like that person. Okay? They will blindly follow after the lead. It's sick because they literally don't have minds of their own. And this dude right here, who's supposed to stand up as a man and care about just life, he didn't care. He blindly was committed to this woman as the godmother and the best friend of 10 years. 10 years. Level that out from 10 years relationship, right? 10 years, Khalil had a relationship of a friendship with her for 10 years as well. So he's got a deep, committed relationship, friendship with all the Cabo 6, 10 years or longer, versus Shanquella with the 4 or 5 years that he has with her. Who do you think he's going to be loyal to? Their actions just showed you who their loyalty was, and his words right here just showed you. This is the one that started the hate train for Shanquella. I think she's been jealous of Shanquella all throughout college, too. She saw her on campus with her cute little outfits, thriving and living it up, and was jealous and salty, and probably gave her little stank stares. You got to be careful when people that be giving you the stank stare. Those are secret haters. This one right here. She didn't want Shanquella at her birthday celebration either. That's why she was salty. She had all them girls in the room, and she had Malik in there and Khalil, and they were in there, and she was talking about Shanquella to those individuals in that room. That's why Shanquella was alone looking around for them, because she was in there venting and talking about, Khalil, why'd you even invite her? I didn't want her here at my birthday celebration. And Khalil's like, no, we know her. She's cool. She can help pay for the villa. It's going to just help us, cover the villa for this, whatever. And she's in there venting like, I didn't even want her here. So that's why when she came into the room, you saw her with her hands on her hips, already defensive, and the other girl looking sneaky, leaning on the couch. Leaning on the bed. Because they were up to no good. But this right here is sick. And all it's doing is confirming to us more and more and more why they were so loyal to each other and why it makes sense why nobody jumped in to protect Shanquella. Because at the end of the day, Shanquella didn't have anyone that was by her side and truly was loyal to her and was truly her friend in the villa. She was by herself. Okay, y'all? So this story is just very sad and devastating. There is an arrest warrant issued, and I'm hoping it's for her. A reasonable person can infer it's for her. But you guys let me know what you guys think about that. I think this piece of evidence here just really helps us see more, because we've already gone through the other ones. If you guys want to see more information regarding these photos, hold on, we're going to get to these photos right here, and I talk a little bit about that in another video. You'll have to watch that video because I'm not going to revisit that again, but it really does show you the extent of their commitment, their loyalty, their very just blind following of Dejanay, the head honcho. I believe in my intuition that the hatred really stemmed from Dejanay. That's what I think. And I think the rest of them blindly followed her lead because they were loyal to that 10-year relationship that they all had to her. And everybody within that circle was committed to one another. and poor Shanquella had nobody. So y'all let me know what y'all think. What are y'all theories? Again, just a disclaimer, these are all allegations and just my opinion and my analysis of the pieces of observations that we have out there floating online in different places. Take care, guys.